This is LUT Lab, a tool I just released for iOS, macOS, and iPadOS. It is free to download, and this is what you'll see when you first launch the app. It is free to download, but if you like it, you can leave me a tip, and that will unlock a little theme picker so you can customize the app based on your preferences. But other than that, the app is entirely free to use. It supports cube format LUTs and HALT LUTs in the PNG and TIFF format. You can use the buttons here to either load image HALT LUTs from your library or just load either HALT LUTs or cube files from your file system. Or you can just drag and drop into the app the LUT you want to load. So what is a LUT? A LUT is a file, a set of data points that maps the full RGB cube. We can represent RGB as a cube, as you can see here, with a blue axis, red axis, green axis. As you combine them, you get any color that a digital sensor will capture or a screen will display. And a LUT maps all those values from the source RGB cube to an output space. So this first pane here, cube, lets you view those data points. And you can use the slider to morph between them, as we just saw. You can make the buttons smaller, make the points smaller or bigger. You can zoom in, zoom out, toggle the axis on and off. The other viewer mode is map. And so what map does is it shows you for each point on the cube its destination color. So whereas shape kind of gives you a general idea of how the colors will transform, map is a bit more effective, I think, at giving you an overview of how every color gets shifted. So we can see here, for example, that our final image is going to be quite bright. Lots of cyans and blues, lots of yellows and oranges. Things shift to white pretty quickly. So this is the cube pane. At the bottom here, for every viewer, we'll see details on the LUT we loaded, the file name, the format, the size, the bit depth, and the lattice, which is the number of values we have on each axis, which is also shown here. Here they match because we loaded the LUT from a cube file, but if we load the LUT from a HALT, it won't necessarily be the case, and we'll see that in a bit. And here, finally, the export cube button. And again, here we loaded from a cube file, so if we export, it will be the same. But if we load from a HALT, that lets us convert the HALT into a LUT. The second pane, the photo pane, lets you see a reference photo with the LUT applied. So you can click to go back and forth between the reference photo without the LUT and with the LUT. Or you can use a slider to see them side by side, as is commonly done. And of course, you can use this button to load your own photo or just drop one into the viewer. And the LUT gets applied. You have this Make Default button that enables when you load a new image. And if you click it, now this image will be the default. In the future, when I open LUT Lab and go to the Photo tab, it will be this image. And Save Render lets you export the processed image to your file, to your computer or your phone. So in that way, you can use LUT Lab as a minimal photo editor. If you like to just use a LUT, apply it to photos you've shot from your camera and be done with it, this tool lets you do that. And finally, the HALT tab. So HALTs are just a different way of representing LUTs. Cube files are just text. You can open them and look at the values. And HALTs are images, where you have all those little strips that each represent a slice of the cube. And they get stacked and represented on this image that contains all the values. So here, this HALT was auto-generated from the cube we loaded. I can export it. Some tools only support HALT, some tools only support cube, so it's nice to have the option. So you can see here, boom, I have my HALT LUT. it shows you here the level of the HALD. So what that means is really the resolution. So a level 6 HALD is 216 by 216, as we see here. And so if you run the math, an image that's 216 by 216 will be 46,000 values. And our source cube file was 33 by 33 by 33, which is 35,000 values. The reason why we have a level 6 HALD is because if we were to use a level 5, we wouldn't have enough values to store the source cube. So here we get a level 6. Of course, we can go the other way. Here I have this Portra HALD that's 1728 by 1728, so I can just drop it into LUT Viewer and get the confirmation here. It's a level 12 HALD, and again, level 12 means 1728 by 1728, which if you were to map into a cube would be 144 by 144 by 144. Most tools that support cube files kind of cap at cubes that are 65 by 65 by 65. So if we go to our cube view here, this is what will be generated. And if we export the cube file, this is what we'll get. So that's an overview of LUT Lab and how you can use it to go back and forth between cube and HALD LUTs and process your photos with it, visualize the LUT. The last thing I want to show you is how to make your own LUTs, and that's pretty straightforward. If you go to HALD, you have this export reference button, so that's what we're going to do. And what it does is it just exports this file, which really is the RGB cube. The colors here all map to themselves. That's why we call it the reference HALD LUT. And what you want to do with this file is, so you want to edit your photo here in Pixelmator, but you can use Lightroom, Photoshop, whatever you want. And I'm going to edit my photo, maybe bring up the highlights a little bit to the green. And maybe I want to bring my midtones a little bit down, lower the saturation a little bit, make the shadows kind of a little bit blue, get that kind of faded gray look. And let's say I'm happy with this look and I want to make a LUT out of this color balance to apply to all of my photos. So what I do is I load the reference HALD into my editor, and I'm going to copy the adjustments and paste them onto the reference HALD. And now all I have to do is export and export my HALD LUT. And now I have this HALD LUT that I can just drop into LUT Lab and apply to my photos and visualize and so on and so forth. So that's LUT Lab. Check it out. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, feel free to reach out, leave a comment, and check out my website, holograph.studio, for more free photography apps. Cheers.